Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. It is a Wednesday, February the 8th. Good to see you with us on the show. And we've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour. We'll keep you up to date. And we've got some special guests joining us as well. My co-host this morning making a return appearance this week, Dr. Nick Cox, who is the History Department Chair. Nick, good to see you.
Good morning, Todd. Good to see you again this week.
So you've got some special guests we're going to get to in just a few moments, but this is the second time you're going to be on the show, but you have a connection to these guests, correct?
That's right. I'm back here again today because one of the fellow history faculty members and her husband are our guests today to talk about her husband's experiences recently on the Jeopardy TV program.
That's right. So we're going to get to that in a second. But first, we want to thank everyone for watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube this morning. We're here usually every weekday when HCC is in session, live at 10 a.m. But Nick, they can also catch us on social media and on HCCTV.
That's right. We're live on Houston Community College's Facebook page and YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay, Nick, here's how it goes. If I say Incarnate Word Academy teacher who competes on Jeopardy, what would you say?
I'll say, who is Eric Kerr-Heraly?
That's right. And we've got two special guests, Eric and Dr. Lauran Kerr-Heraly. Now, Doctor, you are a HCC history professor, and Eric, you work at the Incarnate Word Academy, correct?
That's right.
Okay. And you were the one on Jeopardy, correct?
Yes.
All right. So Nick's going to break it all down. It's a great story. We're going to get to you guys in about 10 minutes. So stand by. All right. We're going to kick things off. We're very excited to talk with one of our presidents here at the HCC, president of the online college. And they've just received a huge honor for the second year in a row, Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Ford Fisher. Always good to see you. And you've got some good news again to talk about.
I do indeed, Todd. Good morning to you and the rest of the guests. I'm just really excited. So happy to be back again. For the second year in a row, Newsweek Global has announced the best online colleges in the United States. And this is globally as well. And the Houston Community College is one of the colleges noted as being among America's best. Now, we knew that.
Yeah.
But they indicate that as well. And it's really very exciting. Over 9,000 participants were in the survey, and they rated the institutions based upon the overall satisfaction, the quality, the service they received, et cetera. So I'm just really thrilled that the work that we do is so well received and so respected by so many of our students. And now the world knows.
Well, from 9,000 people voted on this, but we were also amongst 200 colleges and universities. That's pretty good.
Yes, it is. It's really pretty good. And in fact, we have a 5-star rating. And one of the magnificent things about this is that so many of the online schools that we've heard so much about are rated much, much lower than the Houston Community College. And we're among a number of universities, for that matter, who have also received the 5-star rating. So I'm really delighted. And this speaks to the great work, not only of our advisors and counselors, but particularly our faculty members as well, who teach the online courses, who are able to engage our students. And of course, it's a team effort. So as a result of the great work that is being done, we are steadily increasing our enrollments in online as well. And so our why for doing this is really very, very core to serving our community. In fact, Todd, we want to make sure that everyone in our community has access to quality higher education and training, whether it's going to a building or whether or not it's studying fully online.
What are the performance outcomes of the HCC's online students?
That's one of the things that we wanted to double check to make sure that it's not necessarily the building that makes a difference, but it's the quality of instruction and service. And what we have found through the surveys that have been conducted by the Office of Institutional Research is that the performance outcomes are equivalent. Slightly less than 1% difference between those students who study online and those who study on a campus. And we're talking about performance outcomes of A's, B's, C's. These students are performing extraordinarily well, and it's because our faculty members are so well prepared to teach our students. Our counselors and advisors are so attentive to our students and provide the support that our students need to succeed. So with all of us working together in the tremendous technology that we have available, we are certain that our students are going to not only be engaged, they're going to complete their courses, but they're going to persist as well as they continue through to the completion of a certificate and or a degree with us.
You know, we learned a lot over the last 3 years. I mean, we went into a pandemic, we went online for, you know, the better part of a year after that, and then started slowly reopening the campuses. But it seemed like when the campuses were open, that the students were still gravitating in a majority to want to learn online. Obviously, online is here to stay. Online learning isn't going anywhere. And that must be a pretty bright outlook for our online college. I mean, you guys were doing this before the pandemic, but now you're highlighted because of the pandemic.
You know, you're absolutely right. And what is so fabulous is that online provides the opportunity for the working adults who cannot conveniently come to our campuses during the hours that we're open from 7 or 8 o'clock in the mornings until 9 or 10 o'clock in the evenings. And on weekends, that becomes somewhat burdensome as well, because the working adults usually have other activities or engagements on weekends. Yeah. But for those students who want to go to a building, even if they're working adults, that's available to them. But we also know that we have a very high percentage of residents within our community who are going to gravitate to the campus. So the campuses will never go away. The only thing that we now have available is the availability of more options for the residents of our community to go to the building if they choose, or to study online. And what we have found is that a number of students are choosing the hybrid instruction as well, which is really great because they have that opportunity to go to a campus if they work or live nearby a campus and it's accessible to them at a time that they can go, or they can study online. So we want to make that available to all of the residents of our community. And that is a part of our why. And so what we are planning to do is to open centers that will allow the students who are interested in pursuing an education, they are not as acquainted with our learning management system, but they can go to a campus, they can have the wraparound services, they can learn our learning management system, and then they will have the option of being on campus for a synchronous course. And if a course is not offered on that campus, they can go into a lab and they can take the asynchronous course as well, with the help and the support of one of our team members who will help to facilitate that. So this really opens widely the doors to educational opportunity for more residents of our community.
Dr. Ford Fisher, you mentioned something earlier about working adults choosing the online courses, I guess because of the convenience. You know, my daughter graduated from U of H last year, and she's an older student. It took her a long time to get through college. She was 28 when she graduated, but she preferred taking her courses online because she was working, and she was telling me, you know, I'll take them and I'll study in the middle of the night, you know, and take those courses, you know, late at night when she had time. Are you finding that the students who are gravitating to the fully online courses are the older working adults, maybe parents, those who are in the workforce, but they want to get those classes in and they want to take them anytime they can?
That's absolutely correct. That's spot on. It really defines the population that online is serving. And the working adult, average age 26. And so when we consider the median age for Houstonians, that median age is 35. And you're looking at adults who, some of them may be acquainted with the technology or even have the tools, and others may not. And so that is where HCC comes in to help facilitate their access to the technology, to the training, and to the courses they need in order to not only earn a credential, but to have higher mobility, upward mobility within their employment.
Dr. Margaret Ford Fisher, she is the president of our online college. Great news that you can once again share with us with this new accolade from Newsweek magazine. Great news. We appreciate you being here. We look forward to seeing you in the future and continued success.
Thank you so very, very much. Delighted to be here. And I'd like to ask anyone who's interested in enrolling or getting more information, you can go to our website at hccs.edu/online, or you can call 713-718-5275. We're here to support you. Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, and we're going to have all that information in our social media post after the show.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dr. Ford Fisher. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Nick, we're going to turn things over. Very exciting story you have about somebody who visited Jeopardy, who was on TV on Jeopardy recently. So go ahead and take it away.
That's right, Todd. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome to the show, Eric and Lauran. We're looking forward to hearing all about your Jeopardy journey. Lauran, I understand this was a family affair that you and your daughter went with Eric to the studios. Tell us a little bit about what that was like for the family to watch him compete.
We did. Well, he has been trying to get on the show for 15 years. So for it to finally happen was really exciting. He and our daughter watch Jeopardy together every morning, and she even pretends to buzz in. So it's very exciting for us to be in the audience, see how, the live production works and see what the writers and judges are doing, sort of the behind the scenes stuff. And we got to watch 5 episodes, and it was great fun.
Excellent. What was your daughter's favorite part of the experience?
Well, seeing Daddy on TV, of course.
All right,
but she also really liked seeing what the stage looked like in comparison to what it looks like on TV.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, Eric. So Lauran might have just answered this slightly, but have you always been a trivia buff and a fan of Jeopardy?
Yeah, always. I have been watching Jeopardy for as long as I can even remember, probably since, it first started airing again back in the 80s. And so I would rush home from school because it came on early in the afternoon, and I would try to get home and watch it. And I would watch it along with my mom, and we would try to answer the questions. And then as I got older, I was able to answer more questions. She would encourage me, one day maybe you should try out for this. But in those days, I just liked watching and trying to answer as much as I could. And I still watch it with my daughter, like Lauran was saying.
No, that's fantastic. I remember when I was young, it was absolutely part of my summer television diet, right? Whenever I was home for the summers, it was on that long list of shows along with like the Brady Bunch and Chips and trying to think about what else, So tell us about trying to get on Jeopardy rather than just being a fan. How did that work? How did you make the decision to actively try and become a contestant?
Yeah, it's changed a bit over the years. So back when I first auditioned, I was in my late 20s, and Lauran and I were just about to get married, actually. And she knew I loved Jeopardy, and I had been, my mom had been encouraging me to try out. And then Lauran said, well, why don't you just try? And at those days, there was one time a year that you could go online and take the test. And if you passed that 50-question test, they might invite you to an audition nearby. And I had to go to Dallas for that first in-person audition. And after that, you don't really know if you're going to make it onto the show or not, because they audition up to 2,000, 3,000 people a year, and only about 400 get on the show. So you don't really know at that stage, and they don't give you any feedback. So I kind of waited. You wait for about 18 months. And if you don't get a call, then you can try out again and take the test again. But at that point, we were getting ready to move to England. So we lived in England for 7 years. And as soon as we got back, I tried out again. I had another audition here in Houston, and that was still in the days of in-person auditions. But then for the pandemic, they've basically moved everything online. You can now take the test anytime if you go on their website, and you can take it once a year. And you can then, if you do pass that test, you may get an invitation to audition, and it's all on Zoom now.
All right, fantastic. Lauran, do you share Eric's love of trivia? Are you a Jeopardy fan as well?
I do. I enjoy watching the show, and I do like trivia. We play as a family once a week at a local restaurant. And I also do a lot of trivia games in my history courses at HCC. That it's a sort of an informal assessment, fun thing to do in my classes.
Well, let me ask a question this way. You guys filmed this episode, Eric, in November, but it didn't air until much later. When were you on television for us to watch?
That was on January 20th. So it was 2 months after I had filmed. So I had to keep it secret. You know, they make you sign an NDA, so you can't talk about the results of the show. That was the hardest part.
You know, I imagine that would be an incredibly difficult secret to keep from your friends and your family and your loved ones about how you did. Now that the show has aired, do you want to talk a little bit about how you did?
Yeah, well, the end result was that I came in third place, which is unfortunate, but really I had a lot of fun. My main goal was I really just dreamed of getting on the show. So I didn't really put any pressure on myself to have to win. It would have been nice to win, but it wasn't something I felt I had to do. I just wanted to go out there and perform well. And I was able to answer several questions. I was up against a pretty dominant champion who is a bit of a trivia legend. And so I knew it was going to be a tough battle against him, but I felt like I represented myself pretty well. So I really enjoyed the experience.
So Eric, this is actually a question I have no idea, but do you have any plans, or is it even a possibility that you could try again in the future? Would you want to go back on Jeopardy?
I would love to go back. Right now, there aren't very many opportunities to go back if you've already been on the show. There's every once in a while a second chance competition that they allow past contestants to play again. But that's a pretty recent thing, and it's not very many contestants that get invited to that. So it's unlikely I'll be able to compete again unless they add some more opportunities in the future. But if they ever did, I would love to do it again. It was so much fun.
Well, Lauran, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lauran.
I was just going to say there's over 100,000 people who take the test every year. So there's a big pool of people that want to get on the show. So the odds of him getting on in the first place were so great, and we're excited that he did it. But
right. So there's always new people in the pipeline. So Lauran, let me ask a question this way. Now that Eric has been on Jeopardy, is Jeopardy still a part of the daily family routine, and is trivia still something that the entire family is enjoying together?
Yes, we still watch the show every day. I still wake up to the Jeopardy music when they're watching it in the living room, and we do our weekly pub trivia, and we change our name every week, so it's hard to track us, but we do pretty well. We also, we travel a lot, and right now, on the way to California, actually, we drove overnight, stayed a night at the Grand Canyon, and then got to California. We had to be there a day early so Eric could, do a COVID test and get acquainted. But anyway, even on the way, we were learning trivia about the national parks. And on the way back, we're doing that. So our daughter's really into quizzing us on things. And yeah, so it's a big part of our life.
Hey, I've got a question for you guys. So usually when people get a chance to see the Tonight Show, for example, and when you see it on TV, it looks like they're in, a coliseum. But when you see it in person, Saturday Night Live, for example, when you see it in person, it's a very small studio. What are some of the things you can tell us now that you've been to the Jeopardy studio that's maybe a misconception? Is it a huge studio, or is it very small, very intimate? Is there a large audience? How did that look?
Yeah, for me, I felt like the stage was bigger than I expected it to be, because I think I went in thinking it's probably going to be small. And it really was about the size I probably would have thought just from watching on television. The studio audience is pretty small, though, smaller than I thought it would be. And then because of COVID protocols, our green room was actually the Wheel of Fortune studio, and everything in the Wheel of Fortune studio was much smaller than I expected. The board, the wheel, the stage. I was really surprised.
What is it like now? Of course, Alex Trebek passed away a few years ago. What is your personal opinion with the hosts they have now? Do you think they're going to settle on somebody? I mean, there's no one that can replace Alex Trebek. I mean, you just can't. But what's your opinion on the direction they're going now?
I really think both hosts do well, and I was there when Ken Jennings was the host, so I didn't get a chance to meet Mayim Bialik, but I like watching them both, and I think the show plans to keep them both around. I do have to say that Ken, for someone who doesn't have a background in television production, manages all of the reshoots and all of the contestant interactions so well. And Lauran might even be able to say more about his interaction with the audience because he was very interactive.
He was very generous and very funny because on the commercial breaks, he would do Q&As with the audience and things like that. So it was fun to hear sort of stories with him and Alex Trebek and anything that the contestants really wanted to know. So from the audience perspective, the stage did look about the size that I would have expected, but it was kind of funny because they do shoot 5 episodes in one day. And so they pretend that episode 1 is Monday and episode 2 is Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so they mix the audience up, they make everybody move so that in that 1 second of camera pan to the audience, it looks like a new day.
Right. They have to shake it up. Yeah. I remember when I was at a taping of a comedy special in New York at I think it was the Apollo Theater. It was during the winter and it was very cold. They made us all take our jackets off and stuff them under the seats because they were like, this could show in the middle of the summer and you guys are wearing parkas. It ain't going to work. So they really pay attention to that stuff. And that was quite a while back. We want to thank both of you for being here and sharing your experiences on Jeopardy. It's a fascinating story. And, I hope you get a chance to get back on the show again one day.
Thank you. It's been fun talking to y'all. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right. We've got a few announcements we're going to go through as we wrap up the show. Nick, Mental Health 101, HCC and the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and are unveiling basic mental health challenges and symptoms and discussing current statistics related to identification, treatment, and recovery. It's happening today. It's a virtual event, noon to 1:15 p.m. The session's open to all HCC students, faculty, staff, and their circles of support. So really, anyone can attend this. Make sure you check our post after the show because we could all use a little bits of a mental health awareness. And the Southwest College is celebrating Valentine's Day, Nick.
That's right. The Office of Student Life at the Southwest College will be celebrating Valentine's Day by making cards, taking photos at all the Southwest College campus locations. Check the times and locations for yours, but they'll be there from 10 a.m. to noon on Monday at Missouri City, from 5 to 7 on Monday at Stafford, and from 9 to 11 on Tuesday, Valentine's Day itself at the West Loop campus. Check our post after the show for the link with more information.
Okay, building a community of winners. The Black History Gala is coming up. Make plans now to attend the virtual Black History Scholarship Gala, sponsored by the HCC Foundation and hosted on fox26houston.com. It happens 7 p.m. Thursday, February the 23rd. It is a virtual event. Check our post after the show for the link to register. And we've also got something going on. Let's see. Are you meeting satisfactory academic processes? Or progress, I should say. Maybe you could tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, academically, it's important for students to make sure they are meeting SAP, the satisfactory academic progress requirements of their degree plan in order to keep receiving financial aid. Find out what it takes to meet SAP requirements. And again, check our post after the show for links and more information.
The Creative Writing Club has an event coming up. HCC students with an interest in creative writing in any medium can consider this an outlet for their expression. The Creative Writing Club hosts such events as open mics, readings, visiting writers, and is a safe space for all to belong in order to support, nurture, and showcase student talent. We'll have some information in our post after the show, and you can contact advisor Courtney Smith. As we mentioned, Nick, February 13th, it's not just the day before Valentine's Day. It is the day that second semester starts. So you got to register if you want to get in for that, right?
That's right. The 12-week session starts Monday. So if you are looking to take classes in the spring term, but you hadn't been able to get into the regular session, the second start is for you. And that 12-week session starts on Monday. You've got about 5 days left to enroll. And we encourage people to start selecting their classes, enrolling, and paying right away so that they can secure their seats. We offer classes online anytime. We offer online on a schedule with virtual meetings. We offer classes in person as well as hybrid, and we have hybrid labs as well. So all spring courses are offered in these modalities. To learn more about HCC programs, start dates, sessions, classes, costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Make sure you do it now because because as Nick mentioned, those sessions get shorter as we get into second start. What do you have, like 8-week sessions coming up and all that? Because you still got to get those credit hours in.
That's right. We offer a 12-week session that starts Monday. And if folks are not ready to start on Monday, we do have an 8-week session that begins mid-March, right after spring break. So if someone wanted to take classes in the last 8 weeks, they could do that as well. Now, some programs have 4 and 5-week sessions in the spring as well as summer. So, here at HCC, we offer classes in as many sessions as you can really imagine.
Got to register though, hccs.edu/apply. We are celebrating Black History Month, and tomorrow on the show, HCC's Northeast Communications Director, Sharon Bruno, will be here to discuss the search for lost relatives after emancipation. That'll be happening at the Houston Holocaust Museum. She'll be here tomorrow. Sade is here as well. She'll be hosting the show. And we've got real estate coordinator, Dr. Juan Crawford. He's got an accomplishment we'll talk about as well. Nick, thanks for bringing your guests here today, and thanks for making a surprise appearance.
Hey, thank you all for having them. It was a great show.
All right. Thanks, folks. We'll see y'all tomorrow live, 10 a.m. on Up to the Minute.